Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everyone. Today we are going for the lecture will be presented by our respected trainer Sohail Kibria Saab about the topic name is Engineering Education in Pakistan Reality versus Requirement, and he will be presented this lecture who is well known for his technical skills and trainings. I will give a little introduction about him. He has about 40 years of teaching, research, and practicing experience in Pakistan and abroad. He obtained his bachelor degree in civil engineering in 1980 and master degree in geotechnical engineering in 2004, both from UET Lahore. He has gained a significantly rich geotechnical experience of working on diverse engineering projects, including nuclear power plants, irrigation and hydraulic works, dams, sewerage, and drainage works, uh, hydropower projects, motorways, building, water supply, highways, airports, and bridges. He has risen from various positions like a lecturer in a soil mechanics at UET Lahore to junior engineer, senior engineer, principal engineer, chief engineer, general manager, vice president, and right now he is currently working as head research and development in the largest consulting engineering enterprise in Aspar. He has been lecturing extensively at various forums like UET Lahore, Government Engineering Academy, Wabda Technical Training Institute, Institute of Engineers, University of the Punjab, NAS Islamabad, FAS Lahore, and Pakistan Geological Society. He is also the member of Pakistan Engineering Council, fellow member of Institution of Engineers Pakistan, member of Pakistan Geotechnical Engineering Society, member of Pakistan Engineering Congress, member of International Society for Soil Mechanics and Geotechnical Engineering. He's also the founder member of Pakistan Society for Civil Engineers. So if anybody has question, then he can use raise hand option during the session, and he can ask question. Now I will give mic to our respected trainer, Mr. Sohail Kibria for the further procedure. Sir.
Thank you very much. Let me share the screen. Haji, Assalamu alaikum to all the participants. I think you can hear me properly. I think my voice is clear. Uh, I would say, as is my routine, as Mr. Tahir has said, that please don't hesitate to put any question. Stop me while I'm delivering my talk. It's good for the audience to resolve the query and to answer, you see, whenever there is some situation like that. So the topic, as you know, is very interesting and very different today, which is very relevant though for, in fact, for practicing engineers and really much for the engineers who are linked with the education business. I belong to both the sides. Basically, I started my career as a lecturer, as a teacher, and even now I'm a visiting professor of a few engineering universities in Lahore, and also a research faculty member called adjunct faculty of some universities. So I thought that to discuss reality versus requirement is important because we know that engineers roll out of the engineering education institutions and they are absorbed by the industry generally or by their universities too. So these organizations who absorb the engineers, they have their own requirement, their own feelings. Over the years, it has been felt that there has been a significant gap between the two. So today's lecture is basically to point out that what is happening and what should happen and how to close up this gap. You look at the contents of my talk in general, broad contents will contain some background information, and I'll try to throw light on the real life situation of engineering education. Some of my words may be a bit tough or a bit harsh, but I have tried to spell out the reality, the real situation. Then I will discuss on the limitations of the engineering educational institution, and then what are the requirements, what should be done. to impart good education to engineers, to the young minds. What are the requirements of different industries? Like ours is the services industry here in Nespark, but there are manufacturing industries, like there are you see auto industries, there are fertilizer industries, there are power plant, engineers from government sector are there, requirement for sustainable economy. We have to maintain a requirement of sustainable economy in the country too. So in the end, what is desired from an engineer, from the future young engineer, and what we should do to move forward? First of all, the actual background is that engineers, you see, they belong, and engineering belongs and represents what we call knowledge economy. You see, the component of the economy which capitalizes on the intellectual property. I mean, on the intellect of the people, educated people. So engineers and scientific minds are amongst those who create knowledge economy. There are other professions too. So there is a dire requirement that this profession, its education should be improved, it should be strengthened, because it has to do with the development of Pakistan. It is linked with the development activities in any country of the world. So we need to build some indigenous capabilities, but they are possible only if we have some innovative ideas, passion and innovation, both. Engineering creates jobs and improves standard of living. Can you imagine? These are the benefits. You are all engineers. So this is our role, our domain in the societal development is significant. Today's lecture is common for all types of engineers. It's not only essentially civil engineers. If there are some other disciplines of engineers who are listening, I would be happy that they're also getting to share. Let us discuss what government is doing in Pakistan, their present conduct. It is a blatant fact that little attention so far, despite all hue and cry, is being paid by government, because everything is the resourcefulness with the government for everything. So poor attention, I would say, I would say more attention is required, because if the development of the country is needed, if more industries are to be set up and to be run properly, if the export target has to be met, if the housing issue has to be resolved properly, and if educational standards have to be improved, then you see engineering education must be paid the more heat, more budget should be invested, more in financial terms. Meager investment will not work, and this continues ever since the creation of Pakistan. So I would say it's not only government, but even in private sector, they will tend to copy government, or you see, they are going in the same way, more or less, or maybe poorer. So the result is that the engineers which are rolling out of the universities are, as we see, the experienced people. They don't meet our requirements. They are below the mark. The percentage marks, the CGPAs are fairly high, but the concepts, the engineering intellect, which is the actual engineering, the skills, they are low en masse. On bigger scale, they are low. The CGPAs sound very impressive. Sometimes you see people are getting 4 out of 4 or 3.9 or 3.95. But you see, their skills, their level, their concepts are very poor. So this is a threatening situation, and a situation which calls some concern, some actions to be taken. What is the task of educating engineers? You see, it has become more challenging now. There are more challenging issues, because in the future, Pakistan is going to face, even now it is facing, but these problems are going to be substantiated, like poverty reduction, sustainable development, the response of engineers to disaster which happens, the climate change effects and their mitigation involves a lot of engineering. Of course, the damage works because of any reason, any calamity or any reason, reconstruction, lot of engineering, risk evaluation. So these are the challenges which have a lot of input of engineering. Good engineers, good educated, passionate, innovative engineers will be able to better tackle these national issues But this is further complicated and compounded with the requirement of new trends of learning and teaching in engineering education. We are far behind what it should be, what is happening in the world. We are not keeping a pace with the development of in these sectors, in the sectors of learning and teaching in the world. Now, let me tell you that technology is one thing which we can learn. But it's not only learning and knowing the knowledge, not only acquisition of knowledge. What we want from our engineers is also the creation of knowledge. Both the things, you see, they should complement and supplement to each other. So this is, you see, those who belong to this organization, NESPAC, they know that there's a lot of sometimes knowledge-based learning. We come to know about new things in our projects too, and we create new ideas too. So similarly, this goes in research in the education sector. And the digital devices, the IT system, they have changed the teaching requirements a lot. Regarding IT, there's a little of confusion, a bit of confusion. Some teachers and some engineers, even in industry, would regard technology as a mere tool, like a calculator, see, or like a computer to run software, and they think that engineering intellect is something far superior, and the others think that it is, that is the IT and the systems of IT is a fundamental to learning. They must be there now in every discipline of engineering, in every facet, in every kind of research work. I personally think that IT is important and in many situations it remains serving the job of a tool, yes. But at the same time, we ought to utilize it properly to speed up our work, to have more efficient working, to have work of high quality, and to meet the market demand, to stand hand in hand with the international community of engineers. Everything cannot be done with hands today. There are severe limitations of problem solving and uh, completing the engineering work by hand. Now, when we talk of engineering education, one is the academic education, in which we get the lectures in the classroom, carry out practicals in the laboratory. But there's another element because when engineers have gained these skills, they have to work as a either in an organization as a by seeking a job, or they have to open up their own business, new their own enterprising business. So in both cases, ethics and morality, which is linked with the grooming of engineers, that is equally important. They should know how to do the work in a community and how to do the work honestly and diligently for which they are paid. So these are two things. At the moment, there is emphasis on academic education and perhaps very low level emphasis on ethics and morality. And the outcome is clear. It is known to all of us. One degree in engineering is called the basic tertiary education of engineering, which is a bachelor's degree, 16 years of education. Other degrees like master and doctorate, they are called the advanced degrees in engineering. So, higher education was established back in Higher Education Commission was established back in 2002, knowing the requirements of advanced studies and upgrading the requirements of advanced studies, and with their effort in the era 2002 to 2009, about more than 4,000 PhDs were produced locally as well as from abroad. Whereas the local turnout in engineering before that was, you see, up to 2000, year 2000 was only 10. This is miserable. You see, this is miserable. So there was an uplift in getting higher education in the form of getting Doctor of Philosophy degrees up to 2009. After this upsurge, you see, the focus of government again shifted, and you see, it has again gone low. Although it is, people are getting higher education, but you see, not of that type. So As a result, by the year 2009, two prominent schools of engineering of Pakistan, NUST Islamabad and UET Lahore, they were ranked at 274 and 281 in the global ranking in 2009, the global QS ranking. NUST introduced at the same time in 2011 a, a very enterprising engineering degree course, Engineering Education Research (EER), to promote the engineering educators. Yes, that was a good step, but I think it has not fulfilled its job so far the way it should have been. So there remains a big question mark. Are our engineering educational institutions fully prepared to ensure the production of well-qualified engineering workforce required for sustainable national economy? What is your idea? Those who are listening to me, do you really think in real sense of the word? I would say no. This is my consulted opinion on the basis of my long experience. A lot need to be done. It's a lot of responsibility of the educational institutions who must get the proper support at the back end from those organizations and from those offices which control them, like Higher Education Commission, like Pakistan Engineering Council and others, the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of Pakistan. Pakistan Engineering Council, on the other hand, says that PC is happy, they have done good works, you see, and they're happy that engineering accreditation system and education curriculum in Pakistan, they claim is at par with the international standard, and PEC has obtained a membership of two relevant accords of what we call International Engineering Alliance, which is an NGO for engineering works known globally. It is recognized globally. So under it, two accords or two agreements have been signed. One is the Washington Accord and other is the Engineering Mobility Forum. Washington Accord is linked with the accreditation. You see, although accreditation system in Pakistan would be different from the accreditation system in other countries in engineering, but you see, to see that it is reasonable and it is almost at par, the Washington Accord allows that to review that and to approve that the accreditation here is at par with accreditation in the advanced countries. And the Engineering Mobility Forum ensures that the education curriculum here in our engineering institution is such that it is almost at par with the education curriculum in the other countries where the degrees are properly recognized. So PEC thinks that they have done a good job and they have done a good job, but it is not enough. PEC also claims that engineers produced from Pakistani engineering universities are serving as contributing in all fields of engineering. But I personally feel that okay, we have to look at the present status. We want to first of all improve it, and we are seeing that the present status of education of engineering that has gone down. So if there were engineers in the international institutions, they belong to the past when they got relatively better standard of education in the past. So it is true to some extent. We need to upgrade our education system a lot. We cannot afford to maintain a gap between the industry and between the academia, between the educational institution. It is still there, despite all the paperwork, despite all the hue and cry, despite so many efforts. These efforts have to be upgraded. Now, let me define for your information and knowledge that what is this International Engineering Alliance under which two accords have been signed. This abbreviately known as IEA is a global non-profit organization, as I tell you, it's NGO. It includes 27 member countries through seven international accords. So these accords regulate the recognition of engineering qualification and professional competences. And they have one sound mission that the engineers of the world, they should work together. From all the countries should work together, should share the information, the knowledge to advance the quality of education. If things are better in one country, the other countries where there are poorer should get the benefit of that. And improve global mobility, global movement of engineers from one place, one country to the other. So under this International Engineering Alliance, 3 educational accords and 4 professional competency agreements have been signed. The educational accords are important, which I've mentioned here. One is the Washington Accord, which is for engineers, science-based engineering. There is a Sydney Accord too, which is there should have been in place of IY. There is a spelling mistake. Sydney Accord for technology-based engineering. You see, the technology. There are Bachelor of Technology programs also. It is for that. And then the Dublin Accord for technical programs in the era of technology. So out of these, Washington Accord is one thing. And what is this? Further definition of it is that it is an international agreement between bodies who are responsible for accrediting engineering degree programs. So this is an agreement of accreditation to determine the same level. When uh, accreditation is done by Pakistan Engineering Council of the local engineering universities, whether public sector or private sector, they look at many things regarding the standard of education in that institution, ranging from the number of teachers, their qualifications, their experience, the type of teaching, the laboratory environment, the classroom environment, and the research environment, the research publications in the impact factor journals, and you see things like those, so that they find out the eligibility for accreditation and whether the purposes for which the programs are being taught are being obtained or not. What are the
Assalamualaikum.
out?
Hello.
Hello,
Excuse me, sir.
hello.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir. Sorry for interruption, sir. Your slides are not visible. If you can please share your slides. Slides are not showing on the screen.
Were my slides visible in the beginning? Yes.
Yes, it was.
Is it now? I'm moving back. No,
No, no.
still
Yes, sir.
no. Okay, what I can do is I can reshare it. Let me reshare.
We're
What has
trying,
happened?
sir.
Can screen be seen now?
Yes, yes, yes. We can see now.
Okay,
Sir, carry on, please.
okay. Let me advance ahead. So, uh, I was speaking over here. No, yeah, I was defining Washington Accord that for accreditation programs, this is the accord between many countries, the signatories in CBJ 27. It was signed back in '89, and yeah, it accredits the or recognizes the degrees between the countries for the tertiary level engineering qualification, which is a bachelor's degree. There is a primary level, primary education, there's a secondary level up to 12 grades, and then a tertiary level. And in contrast, look at this Engineers Mobility Forum. This forum is made up of the signatories of the Washington Accord, but it was signed one year back, you see, 1 year before Washington Accord, 1988. So the same countries which had signed Engineers Mobility Forum, they signed the Washington Accord too. So here the purpose is a bit different, to set common academic standards for engineering, teaching standards by understanding, by reviewing and recognizing the, you see, courses and the qualifications. So the purpose is that graduates from one country uh, amongst the signatories will be recognized by other countries, and they can perform there, you see, competently, properly in jobs or doing any kind of engineering activity in services or in production sector. Although their accreditation systems could be a bit different, and for accreditation, Washington Accord signed in 1989 already is there to set the parity between the accreditation of different institutions from different countries of the world. Now, let us think seriously that having signed these accords, and some of the universities, engineering universities of Pakistan, like 11 or 12, I think at the moment, they are uh, falling within the accord. Well, not all the universities, but I think 11 or 12 are falling within the Washington Accord limits because they have fulfilled what the requirement of the accord is, fulfilled the outcome based objectives of the education, which is determined in two levels, level 1 and level 2, they call it. So, those universities of Pakistan which have attained reasonably good outcomes of the objectives of the study program in two levels, they are accredited. I hope that the remainder will also be accredited shortly. Most of those which are accredited at the moment are the public sector universities like NAS, like uh, UT Lahore, like UT Texla, like that. Now, but this is not enough. We are talking of paperwork till now. Even if these accords are there and on the paper we are able to show that the accreditation is okay and the curriculum which is written on paper and shown to them, if it sounds very good, is it really okay? Is it really, I mean, all that is required to be done? Our engineers performance, you see, who fulfill these requirements in the other countries, you see, will manifest that what is their level. And I think you understand my point of view, that even if these accords are signed, and even if the curriculum are reviewed on papers and the accreditation program is reviewed on paper, the actual capability, the actual intellect now I'm talking about, that is revealed during the joint working. And when our engineers will work in other countries, you see, having obtained, you see, accreditation in their degrees and having so-called sound education so far as the curriculum is concerned, they will reveal their actual potential. And I feel that that actual potential is my point of focus right now, which needs to be upgraded. What about the right knowledge, deep concepts, the passion? You see, a passion is something which is an impetus in a person, a driving force, innovative ideas uh, for research and for work. So this means that something further has to be done. Signing of accords is not enough. Who has to do and how this will be done? First of all, whatever has happened, this debacle, who is responsible for this debacle? In isolation, if we want to put accusation, that are teachers in isolation responsible, or students, or parents, this is their prime responsibility, that they should take care of their wards, that whether they are studying properly or not, or the system, which not only includes the engineering universities, but the back-end controlling departments like Higher Education Commission, like Ministry of Science and Technology, like Pakistan Engineering Council. They constitute the system, you see, and the universities themselves, or the society, which is I mean, is getting devoid of the ethical values and inculcating the culture of greediness, earning money and earning money whatever the source is, without looking into the ethics. So that is what society is giving, you see, in this mad race. Or what we can say, all others are responsible, or all of these are responsible. What do you think? I will give a gap here. I will like to listen to at least two, three comments from you who are listening, either in the chat box or by raising hand, putting question to me. What is your idea? Who is responsible for this debacle? There is some disaster in this educational system. You see, we want to improve it. Who is responsible? Please give me your opinions, at least two, three. हेलो जी, एनीबॉडी, आई एम वेटिंग. मैं इंतजार कर रहा हूँ, कोई बताए मुझे इसमें. उर्दू में बता दें, इंग्लिश में बता दें, इट्स ओके. This is, you see, this is the issue with this Zoom based or online programs of lecturing and education. इसमें थोड़ा सा आपका इंटरेक्शन जो है ना, इट इज़ नॉट दैट मच एज इट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड अदरवाइज, जिसमें आपका वन टू वन फिजिकल जिसको कहते हैं टी टी काइंड ऑफ physical, I mean, encounter in which you can look into the eyes of the people on their faces and they will question you and you can answer them properly. जी एनीबॉडी जो बैठे हुए हैं पार्टिसिपेंट्स, कोई इस पे बताना चाहेंगे, अपनी राय देंगे कि इस मसले के लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है? Nobody is giving any idea. In fact, in my opinion, it is a cumulative interplay of all of these. All are responsible, although to a variable degree. जब सोसाइटी में किसी में डिट्यूरेशन होती है या डाउनफॉल होता है, जिसको जवाल कहते हैं, उसमें फिर सभी जिम्मेदार होते हैं. तो लाइकवाइज इट विल बी अनजस्ट टू से कि खाली टीचर्स को कह दिया जाए या खाली स्टूडेंट्स को या खाली सिस्टम को. सारा मिल के काम खराब हुआ जा रहा है, इस मेस को मिल के ठीक करना है. So, you see, if we look at students, the engineering students are just like raw material. They are young minds. They will be molded anyway, the way they are molded. Once admitted in institution of engineering learning, it is the responsibility of the system to polish them. And what is the system I have already defined? It's not only the engineering universities, their classrooms and their laboratories, but also the controlling authorities at the back, like HEC, like PEC, like Ministry of Science, and other government bodies. So, what good would we expect from the students if we are not giving them properly? आप उनको इनपुट सही नहीं दे रहे, सिस्टम उनको प्रॉपर इनपुट जब सही देगा तो आउटपुट वो सही क्रिएट करेंगे ना. आई फील इसमें स्टूडेंट्स का बहुत कसूर नहीं है. आगे देखें, poorly trained engineers speak volumes about the apathy of the educational institutions, the teachers, the facilities, the controllers, etc. Now, if I talk about good teacher, even if he's in a poor condition, even if he's not paid well, और उसमें पैशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो वो अपने गिर्द एक ऑरा लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट और रिसर्च का खुद ही क्रिएट करेगा. ठीक है ना? उसका क्लासरूम कंडक्ट भी ऐसा होगा कि इट विल इनकलकेट पैशन फॉर फर्दर लर्निंग. He will be able to impart good and clear cut concepts to the students with honesty. तो वो असल चीज़ देखो वो भी है. Yes. So very truly and very frankly speaking, we have only managed high CGPAs and you see high percentages in the bachelor's program with very little grooming to young engineers. ठीक है जी, उनमें ना हमने इंटरपर्सनल स्किल्स डेवलप किए हैं, ना उनमें एथिक्स डाली हैं, ना उनमें काम करने का जज्बा है, ना पैशन है, ना इनोवेटिव स्किल है. पढ़ाई ऐसी है. देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ यू सी teaching and learning environments. One is called the active learning, the other is called passive learning. In active learning, the things are interactive and the students are made to participate, practically participate in every activity. बेशुमार एक्टिविटीज होती हैं. In passive, this is a kind of rote memory, notes and just एक lecture किसी भी तरीके से दिया और बस ठीक है, उसी में से एग्जाम आ गया. So you see, I am talking of the requirement of putting in the active learning. ये आपको दिखाने के लिए है, just have a feel. It's not only engineering education के ही सिर्फ इसमें नहीं है, बल्कि ये टर्शरी डिग्री यानी 16 साल एजुकेशन में डिफरेंट कंट्रीज की आप देखें, इट गिव्स यू अ कंपैरेटिव फील that the poorest and the richest class people, how many percentage of those get education? Like in Pakistan, the poorest in the poorest we have something like 2-3%, 3-4% of the poorest people are able to get the tertiary education cumulatively, not only engineering. आप लेकिन इसका इंडेक्स का फैसला कर सकते हैं कि इंजीनियरिंग भी इसी प्रोपोर्शन के साथ साथ होगी. And in the richest who can afford, the tertiary level tendency, I think, touches like something like 40% in Pakistan. And here you see India is just sidelining with Pakistan. It just at the same level at what we are, but we have advanced countries ahead of us. You can see those who can afford, even they're poor. You see, they are in a reasonable condition, so they have tertiary level education quite high. So this is just a marker, just to tell you that where we are. We are better than many from that point of view, and yet we have to advance with more advancement. There's a good quote by Bill Nye, who is a known science educator and basically a mechanical engineer. He says, "There's nothing I believe in more strongly than getting young people interested in science and engineering for a better tomorrow for all mankind." तो इनको यंग माइंड्स को मुल्क की तरक्की के लिए साइंस और इंजीनियरिंग में इंटरेस्ट पैदा करने के लिए कौन पैदा करेगा? यूनिवर्सिटी से पैदा होगा ना। यूनिवर्सिटी के टीचर्स पैदा करेंगे और उन टीचर्स को बैक एंड पे सारी सपोर्ट होगी। अगर मैं कहूँ कि टीचर्स ही बेचारे बुरे हैं, तो लेबोरेटरीज को मेंटेन करने के लिए फंड्स कहाँ हैं? टीचर्स की सैलरीज का क्या हाल है? सो आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ द होल सिस्टम होलिस्टिकली। इंसाफ के साथ बात करनी है, ठीक है ना जी? So on the whole, you see, one element is responsible for a flaw in the other, and this goes like a chain. अब ये थोड़ा सा देख लें. Back in 2019, there's a famous rating, uh, ranking or rating class or criteria called Quack Quarterly Simons QS. Quack Quarterly Simons. ये QS rating से ये बनता है. ये बड़ी वेल नोन दुनिया की रेटिंग है. 2019 में इसका स्टेटस ये था कि अ, पाकिस्तान इन्होंने जो रेट किया, पाकिस्तान इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड अप्लाइड साइंसेज, ये इतना बड़ा इदारा नहीं है, तो ये दिस रैंक एट 397 नंबर. नास्ट इस्लामाबाद रैंक एट 417. कायदे आजम यूनिवर्सिटी में तो इंजीनियरिंग के कोर्सेज कोई खास नहीं होते, बहरहाल इनकी रैंकिंग 550 के करीब है. लम्स इज बिलो दोस these organizations, these institutions, between 701 and 750. Comsets थोड़ा सा बाद 751 to 800, and UT Lahore and Punjab University they fall from 801 to 1000. ये रैंकिंग उस वक्त की. लेकिन आप इसमें देखें कि इसमें मैंने आइटम नंबर फ्रॉम द बॉटम यू कैन सी second last and the last. QS ranking in 2021, it is almost the same, slight improvement is indicated. नस्ट पहले 417 पे था, 2 साल पहले तो इसकी रैंकिंग 355 पे इम्प्रूव हो गई है. इसी तरह पियास जो है अब नस्ट टॉप पे 2021 में नस्ट इज ऑन द टॉप इन पाकिस्तान इन इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन. 2 साल पहले ये पियास था. तो इस तरह आप लम्स को देखिए, ड्यूटी लाहौर एंड पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी रिमेन इन द सेम स्टेटस. What we need to know is that we have to, at the national level, invest more in engineering education. ताकि we have a good hope कि हम इसका स्टैंडर्ड इम्प्रूव कर पाएंगे. Engineering education in Pakistan receives less attention from governmental quarters than what is required really. So एक और रैंकिंग है. वन इज द QS, as I told you, Quack Quarterly. You can check on the net those who are interested. Quack Quarterly Simons is one very well known. The other very well known is RUR, Round University Ranking. तो इसमें NED जो है, in Pakistan Institute of Space Technology is ranking at 720 number, and NED is ranking at 816. ये उनकी 1000 लिस्ट में बाकी किसी यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम ही नहीं है. उनके रैंकिंग क्राइटेरिया फर्क है QS से RUR की. तो इसका मतलब है कि देयर इज अ डायलेमा, देयर इज अ सिचुएशन जिसको इम्प्रूव करने की ज़रूरत है. वी कैन नॉट से दैट एवरीथिंग इज ओके. यू सी आवर नेशनल हैबिट, यू सी hiding or concealing the facts that also causes a lot of damage, you see, to the institution. हमें थोड़ा सा पॉजिटिव क्रिटिसिज्म के साथ ये बताना है और डाइसेक्ट करके बताना है कि ये हकीकत हाल है, दिस इज अ रियल सिचुएशन, ताकि हम वाकई ईमानदारी के साथ इसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट कर सकें. नाउ आई टेल यू that what is a T-shaped engineer. This is a new term. You see, as you look at the shape of the capital T, there's a horizontal bar on the top, and then there is a vertical line. You see, vertical stem uh, at the bottom of the bar connecting to the horizontal bar. ये जो horizontal है ना, ये width wise, इसको कहा जाता है कि T-shaped professional who combines breadth of knowledge. The horizontal line signifying the breadth of knowledge, and the vertical stem below that signifying depth of technical expertise. यानी हमें ये चाहिए कि एक reasonable level तक उसका breadth of knowledge हो, और उनमें अच्छी खासी डेप्थ हो, जिस जिस एरिया में भी उसकी एक्सपर्टीज है, वो उनमें अच्छी खासी डिटेल डेप्थ विद गुड कॉन्सेप्ट हैज टू बी देयर. सो ये एक लेटेस्ट रिक्वायरमेंट जनरेट हुई है इफ यू रीड थ्रू द लिटरेचर एंड व्हाट द रिसर्च टेल्स अस. और उसको कहा जाता है कि इट इज जस्ट लाइक द रेनेसेंस मैन व्हिच वाज डिफाइंड सेंचुरीज बाय लियोनार्डो दा विंसी, कि वो नया बंदा जो रेवोल्यूशन लाएगा, वो जिसमें ये अच्छी खूबियां होनी चाहिए. तो इंजीनियरिंग में वो इंजीनियर जो रेवोल्यूशन लाएगा किसी भी मुल्क में, तो उसमें ये खूबियां होनी चाहिए. उसकी ब्रेड्थ ऑफ नॉलेज भी बहुत हो, काफ़ी अहाता हो, और उनकी डेप्थ भी बहुत हो. नाउ T-shaped engineer is a complete package. In today's industry, there is a research carried out by David Kahn and Spaurer in 2015. They say the T-shaped innovator as an alternative paradigm for talent acquisition and management. यानी उसमें दोनों चीजें पाई जाती हैं. For firms that need to find qualified innovative employees to staff, manage, mentor and retain them. आप समझे कि ये सारी चीज़ों का जो मालिक होगा उसको टी शेप्ड इंजीनियर कहा जाएगा, एंड दिस इज द नीड ऑफ द डे. अब आप खुद अपने आप को देखें, क्या आप एक टी शेप्ड इंजीनियर हैं या उसके करीब हैं? अगर नहीं है तो आप टी शेप्ड इंजीनियर बनने की कोशिश कीजिए. हैव मोर ब्रेथ ऑफ नॉलेज एंड मोर डेप्थ ऑफ दोज नॉलेज एरियाज इन विच यू हैव द ब्रेथ. अच्छा, आगे देखिए. हमारे मुल्क में, as I've said, PEC and HEC are the key organizations which control the matters of engineering, educational policies, and other engineering matters. So, I've told you the good works of PEC, but there is still a lot to be done. इन्होंने जैसे ये अकॉर्ड्स भी किए हैं, और एक्रेडिटेशन प्रोग्राम इनकी ट्रेनिंग के भी चल रहे हैं, जो कि और बेहतर होने की ज़रूरत है. उसमें थ्योरेटिकल बातें करने की बजाय हमें वो देखना है कि जो इंडस्ट्री की रिक्वायरमेंट है, प्रैक्टिकल इंफॉर्मेशन देना ज़रूरी है. सो फार Pakistan Engineering Council has recognized 134 engineering educational institutions in the country. This is a big number. आप देखें कि इससे अंदाज़ा होगा. मेरे पास ये डेटा थोड़ा इसका है, ये यू कैन सी द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ दोस इंजीनियरिंग यूनिवर्सिटीज. पंजाब alone 60, just in Islamabad 25, just in the capital city. The whole province of Sindh 25, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa 19, AJK 3, and in Balochistan 2. So this constitutes 134 institutes of engineering education recognized by Pakistan Engineering Council. काफ़ी ज़्यादा हो गया. अब you see, is a lot of, number of engineers, and you see the faculty members. Now is much more important than to spread the universities without any forethought, rather to give more emphasis on improving the quality of education so that the engineers which turn out are meeting the demands of the industry. इस पे बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस करने की ज़रूरत है. ये थोड़ा सा पुराना डेटा है मेरे पास. आई couldn't get the latest data. The histogram form बहरहाल एक आपको फीलर देता है that in 2014 we had 171,000 registered engineers, and आप देख सकते हैं इलेक्ट्रिकल के हमेशा ज़्यादा होते हैं सब. then it followed by civil and then by mechanical, and then there are small disciplines and some newly inculcated disciplines too. यहाँ ये देखिए in this pie graph, again the same distribution. इसका relative proportion से एक अंदाजा होता है कि this is how the engineers are spread in different organizations in the country. So electrical are the highest. They are in the service industries, in the private bodies, everywhere. Then are civil and mechanical and electronics, chemical, computer. These engineers are not only meeting the demand of engineering works in the country, but a big number. I don't have the data of that big number. They are overseas, located overseas too, Middle East, in Europe, in Canada, in USA. I have no idea at the moment that what is the proportion of the engineers who are serving our country at the moment out of these. So here you see, let us, with a good sense, recognize the limitations of our poor engineering educational institutions. Let them call poor, you see, because even if they want to improve, some of them, if they have the potential and the passion, they have severe limitations. Lack of faculty training in the way it should be, directional training. You see, engineering education should not be taken as a theoretical exercise. It has to have a very strong link with the industry, whether this is services industry or whether this is production or construction industry or whatever. So if there is a gap, teachers they are teaching in isolation by reading books and you see by reading the papers and teaching to the students with little practical touch, that is not desirable. So that is where now focus is shifting. The purpose of this talk is to lay more emphasis on reducing or bridging this gap. This is a blatant fact that the salary or remunerations of the educators in engineering they are low. Let us recognize this. So if the system pays them low, they are also human beings. The industry otherwise pays high salaries, high remuneration to engineers. So this is one big factor. We cannot close our eyes on this. Over years, when I was a lecturer, I felt that the jobs in the engineering university they are low paid. And when I joined this organization, NESPAC, you see, back in 1981 or 82, I had double the salary that I was getting in UET as a lecturer. Those who were senior to me, they used to tell me that those who joined NESPAC when it was established, the salaries in other organizations were one third, about one third or so. मैं वैसे आपको एक मिसाल दे रहा हूँ कि इंडस्ट्री में सैलरीज ज़्यादा हैं, एजुकेशन में कम है. दिस इज नॉट फेयर. In fact, we have to have high salary structure for the teachers of the engineering institution, but at the same time, then we have to select the best of the best for the engineering education. A big number of the current educators in engineering, they are not there because of their choice. They are there because of their compulsion. Although there are some very very good इंजीनियरिंग टीचर्स आल्सो. मैं जनरल एक बात कर रहा हूँ जो हम देखते हैं और जो इसमें फील होता है. आई लुकिंग फ्रॉम बोथ साइड. यू सी आई पार्टिसिपेट इन इंजीनियरिंग एक्टिविटी from academia as well as from industry as a matter of routine. So most of the faculty is generally with little practical and industrial experience. This is a fact. Let's not hide it. और वहाँ यूनिवर्सिटीज में इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्ट्स और एक्टिविटीज़ करने की रवाज डालने की बड़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है. उसके कई कई तरीके हैं उसके कि किस तरीके से वो करें. फैकल्टी एज सच इज़ नॉट मच अवेयर ऑफ द मार्केट रिक्वायरमेंट्स टू. तो फिर होता ये है कि वो थ्योरेटिकल बातें नोट्स के थ्रू बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटियों में कन्वे की जाती हैं स्टूडेंट्स को. तो वो स्टूडेंट उस तरह का आउटपुट हमारे सामने आता है. फिर हम कहते हैं कि ये कमी है, ये कमी है, ये कमी है. अब अगर आप इंजीनियरिंग यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की लेबॉर्ट्रीज देखें, लेट्स टॉक ऑफ द पब्लिक ओन्ड और स्टेट ओन्ड यूनिवर्सिटीज़. देयर labs are in shambles. They appear to be 100 years behind than the laboratories of the good universities of the advanced countries. हमें इस इशू को बहुत ज़्यादा सीरियसली करने की ज़रूरत है. हाउ कैन वी इनकलकेट रिसर्च एनवायरनमेंट जब वहाँ फंडिंग कम है और वहाँ वो चीज़ें मिल ही नहीं रही. टीचर्स क्या सिखाएंगे? ठीक है ना जी. आई एम नॉट पॉइंटिंग एट एनी सिंगल isolated university, but I'm talking on the basis of my general observation of the universities, you see, en masse. So, at the same time, generally, there is a lack of modern infrastructure like laboratory facilities, computers, lecture halls, and you see, there is a mostly passive learning environment or culture. इसका मैंने जिक्र किया था, which is a rote memory, note-based systems and lectures-based systems, and that is it. उसमें इंटरेक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन को गलत समझा जाता है, ठीक है ना जी। तो उसमें आप स्टूडेंट्स को ये टीचिंग सिस्टम जो है वो खुद पढ़ने का मौका फराहम नहीं करता और प्रेजेंटेशन करने का। स्टूडेंट्स मस्ट बी पुट इन इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन टू रीड बुक्स, दे आर फॉर देम, टू रीड थ्रू पेपर्स। दे शुड एंटर द फिजिकल और द वर्चुअल लाइब्रेरीज, वहाँ जाकर पढ़ें। असाइनमेंट शुड बी गिवन इन सच अ वे दैट दे आर इंडिविजुअल बेस्ड। फिर इन पे एफर्ट बहुत लगती है। तो वो टीचर्स ऑलरेडी, मैंने पहले उनकी प्लाइट का जिक्र किया है, विच इज़ द करेक्ट सिचुएशन, दे आर ऑलवेज ऑलरेडी पेड लो। सो वो कुछ जज्बा भी उनमें कम होता है, कुछ दूसरी एक्टिविटीज़ वो कर रहे होते हैं साथ, टीचिंग के तो उनकी ध्यान कम हो जाता है, जो सही स्टूडेंट अटेंशन देने की ज़रूरत है। इफ़ वी से टुडे दैट an educator, a professor in some university in advanced countries is getting a very high remuneration package. So then he is able to, I mean, with passion and in a trouble-free manner, contribute more towards good education, giving individual attention to the students, because then he will have no worries. उसको आपने खुशहाल कर दिया, वरीज खत्म कर दिया। तो ये हमारा मसला ये भी है। सो लैक ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल academia interaction and very little emphasis on interpersonal skills. Even teachers, देखें ना, टीचर्स सिर्फ वही नहीं होता कि आपने एमएससी या पीएचडी कर ली तो आपको यूनिवर्सिटी में एजुकेटेड बना दिया जाए। You have to have very strong interpersonal skills as a teacher too. हम सिर्फ स्टूडेंट्स की बात करते हैं, लेट्स टॉक ऑफ टीचर्स टू। उनके भी स्किल्स ऐसे होने चाहिए कि दिल मोह लेने वाले तरीके से वो कॉन्सेप्ट्स को डिलीवर करें, और उनके अपने कॉन्सेप्ट भी अच्छे हों। दे शुड बी द बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट, बोथ लाइक और रिसर्च माइंडेड लोग हों बहुत सारे, you know. So that is going to really make a good change in engineering education. बाकी हम बातें करते रहते हैं ना, खाली डिग्री का होना कोई इतना बड़ा इशू नहीं है, ये हम सब ने देखा है। डॉक्टर्स में भी डिग्रियां बड़ी होती हैं, इंजीनियर्स में भी। असल चीज़ ये है कि हु possesses good skills, interpersonal skills, practical skills, passion for teaching, passion that students should learn, having good concepts himself and really keen to transfer the good concept, ये है सही टीचिंग का, ये है। और इसकी ट्रेनिंग की जरूरत है। अब डायलेमा क्या है? In our engineering system, many good engineers would leave the country for earning more money, for better positions. उनका ख्याल है कि यहाँ सारी उम्र में वो रह के तो घर नहीं बना सकेंगे, तो ये बाहर का पैसा। बाकी कुछ जो है वो समझते हैं कि बाय हुक और बाय क्रोक we will go into government jobs and will be earning money by this way or that way. आपको पता ही है what I'm trying to say. So इंडस्ट्री में कुछ आ जाते हैं, दे आर पेड बेटर, यू सी। तो अब जो बाकी लोग बचते हैं उनमें से काफ़ी टीचिंग की तरफ चले जाते हैं, ऑप्शन और कोई नहीं होता कि चलें, देयर इज अ चांस दैट दे विल बी गेटिंग फ्री मास्टर्स एंड पीएचडी, फ्रॉम अब्रॉड, एंड फिर उसके साथ लिखते हैं। So many university teachers are not there by choice. This is a fact. This coupled with the lack of research facilities, जो कि होती नहीं है, बहुत कम है बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज में, as well as the aptitude of the teacher, because वो तो by choice नहीं है बहुत सारे। So this produces less competent lot of teachers, and in turn results into less competent lot of new engineers with average caliber. उनमें इनोवेटिवनेस नहीं आई, स्किलफुलनेस नहीं आई, सोचने की बात नहीं है, लेकिन उनको नंबर बड़े, मार्क्स और ग्रेड्स आर वेरी हाई, बिकॉज वो तो वहीं से यूनिवर्सिटियों से मिलते हैं ना। जो मर्जी वो ग्रेड सिस्टम लगाते जाएं अपने सिस्टम के मुताबिक, इंडस्ट्री ने तो उनका कैलिबर देखना है। मैंने खुद देखा है, मैं अपना आपको एक्सपीरियंस बताता हूँ कि फॉर मैनी इयर्स आई बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ द सिलेक्शन बोर्ड and head of the selection board also many a times. I myself have seen students which are turning out are really, some of them are having good IT skills also, and but their engineering concepts, I lay too much emphasis on engineering and their interpersonal skills. These two, they are lacking severely. Very high CGPAs, very poor engineering intellect, very poor interpersonal skills. तो ये बात तो गलत होगी ना। सो एम्प्लॉयज आर डिससेटिस्फाइड, मैं आपको ये बिल्कुल साफ बताऊं, चाहे वो सर्विसेज में या मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री के जो एम्प्लॉयज है, जो इंजीनियर को हायर करते हैं, ज़्यादा बड़ी तादाद के मुतालिक मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, और डिससेटिस्फाइड हैं, कुछ अच्छे भी होते हैं। वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ द बिग नंबर of the fresh graduates. So the main flaw is attributed to the state of teaching and learning. ना तो टीच अच्छे तरीके से उनको किया जा रहा है, ज़्यादा तादाद में जो है, आई एम टॉकिंग अगेन ऑफ मेजोरिटी, एंड ज़्यादा तादाद में इसी तरह वो लर्न भी नहीं कर पाते. The students are made to learn by rote memory and lack of problem solving skills. This is one area where we are lacking. एंड क्योंकि ये एटीट्यूड जो है, इसकी वजह से स्टूडेंट्स लैक क्रिएटिविटी एंड इनोवेशन as they have been relying on notes. The study of papers and the study of, research papers and the book, etc. I think आप सबको पता है, जो नए इंजीनियर अगर मुझे सुन रहे हैं कि ये कितना है, फैकल्टी को भी पता है कि अगर मुझे कुछ सुन रहे हैं तो. सो हमने इनके एनालाइजिंग स्किल्स को जनाब इम्प्रूव करना है. वी हैव नॉट कल्टिवेटेड इन द स्टूडेंट दीज थिंग्स, वट एवर इज द रीजन. हम उनको वो दे ही नहीं रहे, एक्सपेक्ट कैसे करेंगे उनसे. Curriculum and teaching skills of faculty are considered deficient. I will blame both of them. ठीक है, बैक एंड पे और इदारे भी जिम्मेदार होंगे, लेकिन इस वक्त दोनों आमने सामने अगर किया जाए, इट विल बी रॉन्ग जस्ट टू एक्यूज द स्टूडेंट्स कि जनाब ये पढ़ते नहीं, ये खराब हो गए हैं. आजकल मीडिया का दौर है, एंड देयर आर सो मेनी अदर डेविएशंस. वो अपनी जगह सारी दुनिया में डेविएशन मौजूद है, लेकिन हम उन्हें दे भी तो नहीं रहे ना जो जो उनको देना चाहिए. हम उनमें स्किल नहीं भर रहे, हमने तो पर्सनैलिटीज नहीं बना रहे. These deficiencies versus new challenges which our country, a poor country, is facing in engineering makes the whole system too complex. हम उन्हें सही इंजीनियरिंग इंटेलेक्ट नहीं दे रहे अभी तक, सही मेथड से पढ़ा नहीं रहे कि उनमें दिलचस्पी शऊर पैदा हो. ऊपर से नई रिक्वायरमेंट्स आ गई हैं, यू सी, न्यू एजुकेशनल मेथड्स, new teaching methods, and you see new learning systems. तो सारा ज़्यादा हो गया ना. ऊपर से द कंट्री poses serious challenges of the requirement of participation of engineers in so many new areas of development. तो फिर हम लैग करते जाएंगे ना. फिर यही होता है कि जो की डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं उनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए सिविल सर्विसेज के लोग फिर सामने आते हैं, CSP ऑफिसर्स. यू सी, बिकॉज आवर इंजीनियर्स आर पुअर इन ट्रेनिंग, एंड दे पुअर इन ट्रेनिंग. when they join the department they remain poor, you see, they remain subservient. वो उनके कॉन्फिडेंस इतने नहीं होते, एंड वो फिर नीचे लगे रहते हैं. सारे का सिस्टम तभी बेहतर होगा व्हेन वी इम्प्रूव द इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन. जैसे होता है ना कि माँ की गोद से बच्चे ने निकलना है तो माँ ने जैसे ट्रेनिंग दी, तो इंजीनियरिंग यूनिवर्सिटी जो है वो इंजीनियर्स के लिए माँ की गोद की हैसियत है. अभी क्या क्या ख़ास तौर पे आई कुड figure out some interesting areas in which we must, train our engineers, our fresh engineers. जब वो यूनिवर्सिटी से आए तो इन एरियाज में उन्हें दे शुड हैव अ रीजनेबल स्किल एंड एक्सपर्टीज, लाइक इन IT courses including software, not only software application but software development and reasonable information about hardware too. Then they must have reasonable information about the contractual matters, including proposals, agreements, tender documents, etc. बहुत इन्हें पुअर इंफॉर्मेशन के हामिल होते हैं. और गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में जो इंजीनियर या जो इवन प्राइवेट में भी होते हैं, उनको बड़ी बड़ी दिक्कत पेश आती है. द फ्रेश इंजीनियर्स are having very low information. They don't know at all anything about what is PC1 and PC2 performance. जो प्लानिंग कमीशन से प्रोजेक्ट की फंडिंग के लिए आप टेक्निकल डॉक्यूमेंट बनाते हैं और उनकी क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है, शायद बहुत सारे इनके जो टीचर्स हैं उनको भी शायद इनका पता नहीं होता. तो बात यही है ना, दैट देयर हैज टू बी अ गुड लिंकेज बिटवीन एकेडमिया एंड इंडस्ट्री. People from industries must be invited in the educational programs in the universities to impart the practical training and impart training on those subjects which are of more practical significance. And similarly, the faculty from the engineering university, they are highly educated, yes, very respectable, and they should be able to update the and brush up the knowledge of the practicing engineers too. Improve होता रहना चाहिए. यूनिवर्सिटीज की रिसर्च जो है वो इंडस्ट्री के मैार के और रिक्वायरमेंट के मुताबिक हो तो ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. इट विल बी मोर पर्पसफुल. Another area which is the forensic engineering, engineering involving investigative and legal matters, including uh, legal handling. You see at different forums like in courts, like in lab, in anti-corruption, in public accounts committee वगैरह वगैरह. तो बिल्कुल ही पता नहीं होता नए लोगों को जब ये नए एरियाज है और engineers are finding you see their place in they have to present themselves with regard to their projects in these forums too. It's an order of the day. ये मामूल की बात बनती जा रही है. तो वहाँ जाकर इंजीनियर्स जो है वो बेचारा बिल्कुल ही वो जो है ना दैट बिहेव्स लाइक अ माउस इट्स नॉट गुड. कुछ ट्रेनिंग इनकी होके आना ज़रूरी है ताकि इन्हें कुछ टर्म्स का पता हो. उनको पता हो कि वो चीज़ जो अपील करता है या जो केस फाइल करता है उसको क्या कहते हैं और जो उसको डिफेंड करता है उसको क्या कहते हैं यू नो. So introduction to new design methods, of course, new construction methods, new equipment and new materials which have come up. It's not the same old rotten system जिसको हम 50 साल 60 साल पुरानी किताबों से पढ़ाते जाएं या नोट्स की बेसिस पे. That is no good really. New technologies, new ways of working, new things, वो उनको देना ज़रूरी है उसकी तालीम. वो तभी होगा कि टीचर्स को भी वो तालीम पहले हो साथ साथ और साथ वो इंडस्ट्री के लोगों को शामिल कर लें. So the whatever we teach them should be very relevant with regard to the requirement in the areas of industry. अच्छा अब ये नए चैलेंजेस में देखें और इंटरेस्टिंग चैलेंजेस जो इंजीनियरिंग कम्युनिटी को पाकिस्तान में भी फेस होने वाले हैं और हो रहे हैं. One is making renewable energy economical even at low level. रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी आपकी वो एनर्जी की किस्में हैं जो कुदरती नेचुरल रिसोर्स को इस्तेमाल करके आप हासिल करते हैं लाइक सोलर एनर्जी लाइक विंड पावर लाइक geothermal, you know, even water, use of water to create energy. Providing access to clean water. As the population is rising, the issue of getting जिसको साफ पानी का प्रोजेक्ट भी आप सुनते हैं और इसमें कुछ लोगों ने काम भी किया होगा. So ये it's not only the population of Pakistan which is concentrated in the few developed cities of Pakistan. We have big number of people devoid of clean water in the rural areas. ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है. रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, utilizing your rainwater, not letting it go waste. New materials, searching for new materials to make our works economical. Currently, under Prime Minister's housing project, another authority has been established by government called Affordable Low Cost Housing Forum. So they have, I mean, assembled so many engineers from educational institutions and from consulting and contracting institutions also to collect the ideas for low cost, affordable house construction for general people, for poor people, using new methods, new materials, and whatever is usually innovative. So, restoring and improving urban infrastructure this is very important. We have seen that haphazard and mushroom development in the urban cities, you see, now it is going to pay the price for it. Even we are not able to control the heavy rainwater, you see, causing urban flooding and so many other things. There's parking issues, you see, there's not basements, etc., etc. Less greenery is there, so you see, less carbon absorption system. So similarly, the new challenges for engineers are also for mitigation of climate change. We should be able to be ready to have some proper input for that too, and adopt recent trends, of course, in engineering, in design, construction, equipment, in everything. Uh, this slide gives you a feeling that what concrete steps should be taken for promotion of engineering education. Number one place is the improvement of the financial condition of the teachers. But this alone is not enough, and selecting the best of the best engineers with passion for research and teaching, for a good blend of academia and industry. बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट हो, पैशन हो रिसर्च का और टीचिंग का, ठीक है, ये बड़ा ज़रूरी है. Intensive training of teachers with regard to concept delivery using modern and interactive methods, and sharing resources of laboratories and faculties. आपस में different यूनिवर्सिटियाँ resources share करके अगर कहीं कमी है तो there should be a system, आपस में agreements करें और दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी के रिसोर्सेज इस्तेमाल करें. हमने इंजीनियर्स को बहरहाल डेवलप करना है. सो इसमें ऑनलाइन लेक्चरिंग जो है वो ठीक है. फिजिकल लेक्चरिंग इज वो तो है ही, टू मीट द शॉर्टेज ऑफ फैकल्टी या कमी हो वहाँ एक स्टॉप गैप अरेंजमेंट के तौर पे ये भी एक तरीका है. और कुछ काम वो फैसिलिटीज जो हमारे मुल्क में नहीं है, ये बहुत महंगे हैं इक्विपमेंट एंड यू नो वी कैन नॉट अफोर्ड, उनको हम कम से कम दिखा सकते हैं, लाइक टेकिंग देम टू वर्चुअल लेबोरेटरीज. यू सी कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी भी तो होती हैं ना जो सारी हम दिखा नहीं पाते, करके दिखा नहीं पाते इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एक्चुअल एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन. तो उनको हम वर्चुअल लेबोरेटरीज के थ्रू स्टूडेंट को दिखाएं. Supplementary, supplementing the student with free online courses as developed by institutions like Stanford, MIT, etc. उन्होंने कुछ फ्री ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज भी बनाए हैं, तो वो हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं और यूनिवर्सिटी ने किए हैं. एंड व्हाई नॉट टू मेक यूज ऑफ फॉरेन फैकल्टी, foreign experienced faculty who have good reputation to teach some short courses in our engineering institution during vacations at least. I think this is possible. थोड़ा इस पे फंडिंग लगेगी, लेकिन ये उस हाई लेवल की एजुकेशन का ब्लेंड हो जाएगा हमारी लोकल एजुकेशन के साथ. इससे फैकल्टी और स्टूडेंट दोनों की इम्प्रूवमेंट होगी. देन आईटी मस्ट बी इन्वॉल्व एक्सटेंसिवली, whatever it is, whether it should be taken as a tool or whether it is taken as a part of the knowledge development, जो भी है, आईटी का इस्तेमाल के बगैर आगे चीज़ें कुछ नहीं चलेंगी. And my special observation is that we should think seriously to make the curriculum less intensive. आप समझिए मेरा मतलब, ब्रेथ में ज़रा कम करें इसको, टॉपिक्स ज़रा कम करें. ये जो रटा या मेमोरी बेस्ड सिस्टम है याद करने का, माइनस रॉट करें इसको. एंड वी शुड ऐड इंडिविजुअल असाइनमेंट बेस्ड सिस्टम इन्वॉल्विंग डीप स्टडी ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग लिटरेचर फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट्स. और टीचर्स इनको साथ उन इंडिविजुअल असाइनमेंट्स को देखें, इवेल्युएट करें, ताकि स्टूडेंट्स की एक्चुअल इंटेलेक्ट की डेवलपमेंट हो. बेशक आप टॉपिक्स को कम कर दें, लेकिन जो पढ़ा रहे हैं उसकी डेप्थ को ज़्यादा कर दें by different methods, reducing breadth and increasing depth of topics, making use of affordable outreach programs with foreign countries. ये बड़ा एक अच्छा तरीका होगा. जैसे मैंने टीचर्स की बात की कि दे शुड कम हियर एटलीस्ट ड्यूरिंग वेकेशन, हो सकता है ना कुछ टीचर्स शायद आ सकते हैं, कुछ किया जा सकता है, सोच ऐसी रखी जा सकती है. एंड सिमिलरली some students may be able to have some time spent in some good foreign universities. कुछ कोर्सेज के लिए कोई प्रोग्राम ऐसा हो तो हमारे इंजीनियर्स में ना एकदम उठान आएगी, फ्रेश इंजीनियर्स में. उनका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल, उनकी grasping capability, उनकी innovativeness, and they will see the people from the other nations of the world, you see, uh, doing engineering. So we cannot overemphasize this, that increased collaboration with industry, academia, industry. There is a lot of rhetoric at the moment, a lot of talk you see, but there is very less, I mean, participation of industry and academia even at the moment. So faculty to get training in industry as well as to acquire industrial projects and funding. कैसे करें, acquire कैसे करें? They can set up their own consultancy houses in the academic institutions, and they should bring them gradually to the level that the industrial projects are won by them. ठीक है ना, वो तो मेरिट की बेसिस पे होंगे, वैसे तो नहीं होंगे वो. They will, when they raise their level of expertise, they will be able to win the projects. उसमें कुछ ऐसी फैकल्टी भी आनी चाहिए जो कि इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सपीरियंस रखती हो. I think this is going to create a revolution in the teaching industry. इनके पास बहुत सारे रिसर्च एरियाज आएंगे, इसमें फंडिंग भी हो रही होगी और इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्ट भी होंगे. अभी आइसोलेशन का माहौल है ज़्यादा यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में. ज़्यादा इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन के टीचर्स दे आर इन देयर ओन शेल्स. They are locked in their shell and just teaching, reading the book, and distributing the notes, and that's it. तो ये अगर हम चेंज नहीं करेंगे तो फिर ऐसे ही रहेगा जैसे चल रहा है. क्रिएट एन इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन सोसाइटी ताकि अवेयरनेस आए ऑन द पैटर्न ऑफ अमेरिकन सोसाइटी ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन ASEE. ये एग्जिस्ट करती है. तो इसमें सलाह मशवरे, डिसएमिनेशन, चीज़ों को शेयर करना और इस तरह की चीज़ें. So, the scientists dream about doing great things and engineers turn them into reality. James A. Missioner. इंजीनियर का रोल बड़ा ज़बरदस्त रोल है डेवलपमेंट में. इंजीनियरिंग करिकुलम डेवलप करना भी कोई आसान चीज़ और ऐसी बात नहीं है कि इट हैज़ टू बी टेकन नॉन सीरियसली. तो इस पे काफ़ी वो रिसर्च हुई है और काफ़ी इसके स्टेप्स डिफाइन किए गए हैं कि हाउ टू सेलेक्ट द पीपल इन स्टेप वन. नॉमिनेशन से लेके कमेटीज बनाई जाए लाइक नेशनल करिकुलम रिवीजन कमेटी हो नेशनल लेवल पे सबके लिए यकसा करने के लिए. और उनकी डिस्कशंस और मीटिंग्स हुआ करें और फिर वो अपने लाइक इन स्टेप सेवन कंपोजिंग एंड प्रिंटिंग एंड डिसएमिनेशन हार्ड कॉपी. ये एक साइकिल है 8 स्टेप just to show you that this is a process. I mean, the curriculum has to be devised at national level. यहाँ मैं आपको थोड़ा सा बताना चाहूँगा कि कुछ यूनिवर्सिटियों ने हमारे मुल्क में आउटकम बेस्ड और प्रोग्राम एजुकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स जो है ना वो डिफाइन किए हैं ताकि चीज़ें बेहतरी की तरफ आए रहेगी. I was in I will not name the university in recently in a private university in Lahore in their industrial advisory board meeting. I'm a member of the industrial advisory. तो मुझे उन्होंने ये दिखाया rather सब participants को. तो I just took 3-4 slides from there just to show you. इस तरीके से उन्होंने अपने प्रोग्राम एजुकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स किए हैं. तो 4 ऑब्जेक्टिव बनाए हैं जिसमें दे वांट टू see that they have to successfully engage in contemporary civil engineering practice. Two is that professional growth उनकी high ethical standards and interpersonal communication skill. तो इसको ये कहते हैं कि they have a vision, their own vision, and on the basis of the vision which they have in mind, they have a mission, and on the basis of those two objectives have been defined, and then they will give you that what are the outcomes of the teaching imparted and the learning obtained by the student. तो यहाँ इन्होंने ये they also showed up this thing इंडस्ट्रियल एडवाइजरी बोर्ड के अंडर POE आप देख रहे हैं राइट साइड पे. तो ईयरली इसकी डेटा कलेक्शन एंड 3 ईयरली PEOs प्रोग्राम एजुकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स की एवेल्यूशन in terms of the key performance indicators के क्या क्या अचीव कर लिया गया है. और हर साल बाद PEO का जो डेटा है उसकी परफॉर्मेंस है उसका रिव्यू. तो दिस इज अ वे. And in the meeting, I was told that all the participants were told that for the Industrial Advisory Board (IAB), in the last meeting IAB, they told that they gave these suggestions which are good: review and approval of current improvement of soft skills. It was underlined training of instructors, emphasis on industrial collaboration, and suggestion of latest modern tools. This is what they told was suggested to the university in the last meeting, and in this meeting they wanted the ideas of the industry, like from me and from my other colleagues who were there, that you please review the program educational objectives and give suggestion for of the board for further improvement in the final year project, strengthening of faculty industry relationship, how to do that. They ask from us suggestions on IAB on strengthening our community service program and strengthening our internship program and the curriculum improvement. So this is one way you see, in a mild way I would say कि चीज़ें थोड़ी चल पड़ी हैं. इनको लगातार देखने की ज़रूरत है. अब सिर्फ पेपर वर्क तो नहीं रहना चाहिए इनको. What I feel the things remain to up to paperwork and accreditation की हद तक भी दिखाने के लिए और करिकुलम भी दिखाने के लिए होगा, तो असल में अगर मीट नहीं हो रहा तो उसका फायदा नहीं है. वन मैन्स मैजिक इज अनदर मैन्स इंजीनियरिंग. ये इतना जनाब ये इसको कहा गया है. सुपर नेचुरल इज नथिंग, नो वर्ड. रॉबर्ट ए हाइनलाइन. एक साइंस फिक्शन राइटर ने बात की। अच्छा, requirements for delivery of good education, education and experience of faculty, good service structure, ताकि they remain satisfied and they are in a position to teach to the students in a wholehearted way. If there's a blend of academia and industry, either the teachers have the industrial experience or some experts from industry go and impart the actual industrial experience and narrate some case histories. I think nothing like that. I don't think that this is happening. I mean, as a common thing in the engineering universities. कोई ऐसा खास नहीं हो रहा, इनको प्रोग्राम्स को बेहतर करना होगा. The curriculum has to be objective oriented. Mode of education, बहुत सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं, labs and libraries and ambience and other things and communication and ethical skills and state of the art technologies and research, ये चीजें generally मैंने list out की हैं. इसके अलावा भी skills you see working in the team. And the third point here is work ethics and interpersonal skills. So I've written here good IQ, EQ, and SQ. In the modern world now, it's not only the intelligence quotient which is considered good for scientific workers and for other workers, but his emotional conditions of stability, which also involves his, to some extent, some interpersonal skills too. That matters a lot. So person should have a good EQ value and a good SQ, the social quotient. That even if he has high IQ and a good EQ, but if his SQ is low, if he has poor social habits, then the engineer will face a problem, and then the system and the overall, I mean, working environment will face a problem. From SQ is meant that how good the engineer is in having social contacts, with the client, with the contractor, with his colleagues, with his seniors, with his juniors to get the work done. Because when we are working in engineering, doing anything, we do that collectively. And the purpose is to get the work done efficiently at low cost in little time, high quality. यही मकसद होता है ना हमारा जब हम कोई प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं कि हम उसको जल्दी कर लें, हम उसकी हाई क्वालिटी मेंटेन करें और हम उस पर कम पैसा लगाएं. When we have good IQ, EQ, and SQ, then we'll have, you know, good uh, work on the project. So, of course, the effective communication skills is as important as any other thing. Uh, Unfortunately, many people for communication skills just take the meaning ये सिर्फ अंग्रेजी लिखने से या अंग्रेजी बोलने से इसका ताल्लुक है. यही दो ही चीजें हैं communication. No, there are other areas of communication skills which need to be improved. One is the listening. When some other person is telling you, जब आपको किसी मीटिंग में कोई रिपोर्ट या जैसे मैं आपको ये सुना रहा हूँ लेक्चर अपना, you are listening to me. Listening is also a communication skill. अगर आप सोच कुछ और रहे हैं तो यू आर नॉट लिसनिंग टू मी प्रॉपरली. आधी चीज इधर होगी आधी उधर, कल तक 5% भी आपके जेहन में नहीं होगा. अच्छा, इसी तरह रीडिंग. when you get reports, when you get emails, when you get letters, they have to be read properly. If you read those hurriedly, you will be skipping over some subtle and finer matters. So in response, if you have to give a written reply, or if you have to make a telephone call, or if you have to make a meeting on the basis of that what you have read, that will be inappropriate or incomplete. तो रीडिंग भी बड़ा जबरदस्त स्किल है जनाब, इस पे भी गौर करें. सुनना किसी को इज अ ग्रेट स्किल. सम पीपल लैक द एबिलिटी ऑफ एज अ गुड लिसनर. किसी को वो बोलने ही नहीं देते. आपने मीटिंग में देखा होगा, कहा गया है और इसमें रिसर्च भी हुई है दैट वन हैज टू बी अ गुड लिसनर. ज़्यादा सुने, फिर ज़्यादा बोलने की ज़रूरत पेश नहीं आएगी. And the fifth communication skill is your body language, in which you remain silent virtually, yet your gestures, your gesticulation, your movement, your eyes, your face, your lips, your body structure, that shows your feeling of love, hatred, acceptability, or rejection, or whether you're going to cheat or whether you're going to comply. These all are indicated. I can read, you see. I can read the people from their body gestures. So that is a good communication tool too. Familiarity with the latest technological and software tool, ये तो खैर इसमें तो ओवर एम्फसाइज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Innovativeness मैंने पहले भी एम्फसाइज किया that we engineers have to be innovative. कहते हैं ना उर्दू में धाक के वही तीन पात या मुर्गे की वही एक टांग, उस तरह नहीं काम चलेगा. For different situations in engineering, there are more than one solution which are viable. उनको assess करना और देखना कि कौन सा बेहतरीन रहेगा from the point of view of time, from the point of view of constructability, cost, skill available वगैरह वगैरह. So वो बड़ा ज़रूरी होता है. But how do we generate ideas for different options? By innovativeness. तजर्बा और ज़हन को खोल के innovativeness. Then engineers must have business promotional acumen. हम ये समझते हैं कि काम ऊपर से गिरेगा हमारी झोली में और हम उसको करेंगे. तो ये आपका कॉन्सेप्ट गलत साबित हो चुका है. Business, every team member is a business promotional element or a business promotional tool who are working on a project. So इंडस्ट्री ये रिक्वायर करती है जनाब, इस तरह की ट्रेनिंग्स दी हुई हो. इंडस्ट्री एकेडेमिया कोलैबोरेशन ये है इंडस्ट्री की रिक्वायरमेंट जो एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन से तो करते हैं कि बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं लेकिन एक हद तक. यू सी द फ्रेश माइंड शुड हैव ट्रेनिंग up to a certain level. अब आप खुद बताएं. Please have a look at this slide and you can see here that my question is what is more important. There have been people like Newton and people like Einstein who have done revolutionary work in the scientific field, developed the initial fundamental theories without which there would not have been any significant scientific development. And now in the modern era, there are other personalities like Bill Gates having total assets of $133 billion, like Mark Zuckerberg having total assets of $116 billion. They created big enterprises. They entered into entrepreneurship and they created jobs. They created training opportunities. I will pause here and ask you, मुझे को एक दो लोग बताएं, which is better. हमें क्या चाहिए पाकिस्तान में? What kind of personalities do we need here? What do we expect from educational institutions कि किस तरह की वो जहन बनाए? न्यूटन आइंस्टाइन टाइप या बिल गेट्स और जुकरबर्ग टाइप? बताइए जी. एनी आइडिया? Hello, are you listening to me? Anybody who would like to say anything? Nothing. So I move ahead. Uh, while I'm giving you a good lecture on the attributes, on the positive points of engineering, let us know and recognize there are certain limitations of engineering too, in a positive sense. Engineering is the art of modeling materials, but you see, we model on the basis of some mathematical theories, which is a crude approximation to the nature, to the real situation. We do not wholly understand, so we put assumptions and you see constants and you see things like that in those mathematical equations. And then we materialize them into shapes we cannot precisely analyze so as to withstand the forces we cannot properly assess. देखें, इसमें हमारे वो है ना, इसमें हमारी लिमिटेशंस आ गई. हम अर्थक्वेक फोर्सेस जो है वो स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस की बेसिस पे लगा देते हैं. विंड फोर्सेस का भी, हाइड्रोलिक फ्लड्स का भी यही तरीका है, उनकी रेफरेंस फ्रीक्वेंसीज एंड so that is the way in engineering. We do it in such a way that the public has no reason to suspect the extent of our ignorance. ये एक हकीकत है कि हम इसमें जितना ज़्यादा काम कर रहे होते हैं, चूँकि वी आर इन इंजीनियरिंग, वी आर, you see, whether we are doing work in the classroom or whether we are doing practical engineering, we are trying to copy the nature और उस कॉपी करने के चक्कर में हमें मैथमेटिक्स का सहारा लेना पड़ता है, थ्योरीज बनानी पड़ती हैं जिसमें अजम्पशंस होती हैं बहुत सारी. So हम बहरहाल with our experimentation, with our methods, you see, we verify uh, that these systems are okay. इसमें experience का भी हमारा रोल आ जाता है. Like in structural design for civil engineer, they will know that working stress method and ultimate strength analysis have been very popular. And now there is a third system which is also getting place. It's the performance-based design. You find out the performance of such works which you're designing, और आपने मॉडल स्टडीज में भी आप उसकी परफॉर्मेंस निकालते हैं, फिर उसको बैक वर्क करके देखते हैं फिर कि किस तरह का डिज़ाइन और सेक्शन प्रॉपर्टीज किस तरह की होनी चाहिए. What we expect, what the society expects from an engineering teacher, he is the real backbone of all inspiration of teaching. उसी ने तो डेवलप करना है. उन्हीं के हाथ से बच्चा निकल के बाहर आएगा fresh engineer. His method of delivery will inculcate passion in the student. If he is a boring teacher, he will not inculcate passion. If he is financially tight and has to do extra work to make both hands meet in the evenings, how he will be able to use his energy for students? Low paid teachers generally will produce mediocre engineers, except those who have a good passion. The teachers, we need teachers with sharp concepts, ideas, vision, innovativeness, skills and passion, jazba, and good skills of communication. राइटिंग में भी, बोलने में भी, पढ़ने में भी, सुनने में भी. इंडिविजुअल असाइनमेंट्स देने का रवाज नहीं है इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन, ये टीचर्स को देना होंगी. इंडिविजुअल असाइनमेंट्स जिसमें वो छापा छापी ना करें, which force them to study in the library, whether physical or virtual library, and then individual evaluation and making that a part of the course, and to make the student to present that too. तो ये है एक अच्छा एक तरीका जो बाहर की यूनिवर्सिटी में इस्तेमाल होते हमने देखा है. Engineering teacher should also paid better paid affluent teachers selected on the basis of real merit can promise high standard of engineering. यानी आप बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट सिलेक्ट करें. नए टीचर जो आपने सिलेक्ट करने हैं वो प्रॉपर क्राइटेरिया सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर उनके इम्प्रूव हों, कैसे नहीं आएंगे एक हाई सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर पे गुड प्रोफेसर और टीचर even from industry will be liking to join an engineering teaching institution. A good teacher is an institution in himself. He is bound to create an aura, a circle of brilliance around him. So if he is satisfied and has a lot of passion, so he will be motivating the young minds. ना कि उनको मायूस करेगा बल्कि उनको वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा उभारेगा. और टीचर्स का ही ये काम है वहाँ से इनको बताएं कि बेटा आपने सिर्फ जॉब नहीं करनी. देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ रूम फॉर द एंटरप्राइज फॉर ओपनिंग योर ओन सेटअप इन आइसोलेशन और बाय जॉइनिंग हैंड विद अदर्स. तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के ऊपर जो ट्रेनिंग है ये इसका भी फुकदान है इन इंजीनियरिंग, हालांकि इस वन बिग एरिया. सो किसी ने ये भी कह दिया है एलॉन मस्क ने, इंजीनियरिंग इज द क्लोजेस्ट थिंग टू मैजिक दैट एग्जिस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड, बिकॉज इसने वो काम कर दिखाए हैं कि which used to be like magic, you see, 100 or 200 years back even. So interesting views of simulation of the nature, copying of the nature to make the things which had scientific theories at the back but turned into reality by engineering. तो यहाँ आप देखिए simulation of a flying bird with an airplane. ऐसे ही है ना. And if you look at the human body, it has a structure, a system, many systems and many structures. And if you look at the tree, its branches and its roots, and look at the building, you know, so one can draw a similarity, you see. So free waterfall, you see, on the left side, you see water is falling down, a natural fall. So it is killing energy into the pond in which the water jet is falling. What if the same energy is harnessed? So innovative ideas of harnessing the energy of the nature, water energy, wind energy, solar energy, and like that. Here you see Newton's law of first motion and the principle of rocket, you see, rocket movement, flying of the rocket, having a thrust which is greater than its weight, would make it fly, you see. So, what does Newton's first law quote? Every object persists in its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled to change that state by force impressed on it. तो ये एक सिर्फ वो सिंपल आप ये देखें कि net force when that exceeds the upward direction, when the upward thrust is more and the weight is less, of course, in the light of Newton's first law, the rocket was bound to move. So ये छोटी छोटी जो scientific minds ने चीजें बनाई इनको engineering ने applied sciences के हवाले से एक practical shape दे दी. ये देखें bird और airplane, they look so similar, you see, in flying. Both are aerodynamically designed. Here, I found it somewhere and I just put it here to show you that this is what is happening in standard research which continues in engineering matters. आप ऊपर टॉप से लेफ्ट से शुरू करें. Conceptualized in the principal investigator's mind. जो principal investigator था उसने सोचा कि ये इस तरह की चीज़ जो है ये करेंगे जो आप टीचर समझ लें कोई यूनिवर्सिटी में एक खाका which is reasonable. Then a proposal was made that we are going to do this kind of research. You can look at the face of Mona Lisa, okay, किसी हद तक ठीक है. Actual goal after funding, उसको मज़ीद ब्यूटिफाई और उसको मज़ीद निखार के पेश किया after funding. उसको जो रिसर्च असिस्टेंट था नीचे जो साथ रिसर्च करने के लिए साथ लगाया हुआ था, he has a very vague understanding of what his principal investigator is saying. ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आई. तो उसने इक्विपमेंट बनाए, एक्सपेरिमेंट शुरू हो जाता है एंड यू सी बाल गायब हो गए, दूसरे में बाल ज़्यादा आ गए. ऑब्जर्व इन रिपीट एक्सपेरिमेंट, यू सी थिंग्स आर नॉट मैचिंग विद व्हाट वाज कंसेप्चुअलाइज्ड. अब नीचे आ जाए तीसरी रो में. कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये प्रेजेंट कर दिया गया आइडिया बट इन अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल मैनर, एज यू कैन सी वेरी ब्यूटीफुल वर्जन ऑफ दिस मोनालिसा. एंड देन सबमिट टू द जर्नल फर्दर, उसको ताकि जर्नल में प्रिंट हो जाए, उसको फर्दर मेकअप करके उसको फर्दर संवार के. और जब वो पेपर के रिव्यू होते हैं, जब वो जर्नल में प्रिंट होता है और उस रिसर्च के रिव्यू होते हैं और उस रिव्यूअर्स के जो शार्प कमेंट्स आते हैं जो ऐसी तैसी कर देते हैं, तो उसके बाद उस मोनालिसा की शक्ल जो है वो बिल्कुल बदल गई. तो यू सी दिस इज हैपनिंग इन इंजीनियरिंग रिसर्च. Just as a matter of fun, I just wanted to share to make a light moment out of the, if you feel it is a boring talk. Uh, the word sustainable is very much in nowadays. Sustainability. Sustainability is a trade-off, a relationship between our environment, economics, and the social conditions. In our engineering project, we have to meet that they are present and they are honored and respected in a reasonable manner. If the social condition, the environmental condition, and the economics is reasonably met and not compromised, then the project, whatever is being implemented, will become sustainable. तो हमारी इकोनॉमी की ये रिक्वायरमेंट्स है और ये इंजीनियर से ये तो है कि वो इन चीज़ों में स्किल पैदा करें, सॉफ्टवेयर में प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स, एक्टिव लर्निंग एटीट्यूड अडॉप्ट करें, एंटरप्रेन्योरियल शिप जो है वो अपने अंदर लेके आए कि खुद भी कुछ कर सकते हैं. ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग उनकी हो, लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग की हैबिट हो. यही नहीं कि सिर्फ जो डिग्री हासिल की है तो लर्न कर लिया. देयर हैज़ टू बी अ लाइफ लॉन्ग, दिस इज सच अ प्रोफेशन, इट डिमांड्स लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग हैबिट and innovative ideas. So, with these skills, with these things, the engineers who have these, characteristics and these behavioral properties, they will be able to make sustainable works which will not compromise with the environment, with the societal trend and with the economics. ये कहने का मतलब है, ये डिमांड भी हुई है कि सस्टेनेबिलिटी करने के लिए इन चीज़ों पे गौर करना ज़रूरी है. कंप्यूटर और इंजीनियरिंग स्किल तो अब हमने पहले भी बात की है, इट इज़ नॉट ओनली डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर, इट इज़ यूजेज एंड हार्डवेयर साथ क्या कंपैटिबिलिटी हो। प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स में बेशुमार चीज़ें, टेक्निकल नॉलेज एंड टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी, कम्युनिकेशन, टीम वर्क, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, problem solving and problem sharing, you see, getting other ideas. This is what we have learned. Business and management skills, ethics and responsibility and leadership, to how to become a leader, how to remain responsible for a work. Active learning की हैबिट, या आप यूनिवर्सिटी में या इंजीनियर या आप निकल आए हैं, तो उसमें एक लर्निंग प्रोसेस है जिसमें you undergo problem solving, analytical methods, cooperative learning, in which you show cooperation in the team, and guiding, you see guidance भी साथ मिलती है। तो जो ये एक्टिव लर्निंग होती है, इसमें इंटरेक्शन और आप समझ लें कि पार्टिसिपेशन इज वेरी वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट। सो इससे जो नॉलेज आता है वो that becomes kind of a sustainable knowledge which has sustainability element, जिसमें सारी चीज़ें आपकी पूरी हो गई हैं। तो एंटरप्रेन्योरियल अप्रोच या ये क्या है, ऑफ कोर्स क्रिएटिव प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर्स, प्रैक्टिकल गो गेटर्स, खुद करने वाले, नॉट अफ्रेड ऑफ सर्टन सिचुएशंस, नॉट ऑलवेज ट्राइंग टू रिमेन अंडर द शेड और अंडर द अम्ब्रेला, खुद बाहर निकल के काम करने वाले, एंड टू क्रिएट जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर देमसेल्व्स, खुद सेल्फ एम्प्लॉय हो जाना। दिस इज अ बिग enterprise, you see, what engineering should teach। ये भी यूनिवर्सिटियों में इस तरह का पैशन आना चाहिए। तो रैंडी पॉश ने कहा दैट engineering is not about perfect solution all the time, बट होता यही है कि डूइंग द बेस्ट यू कैन डू विद द लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज। वही मैंने बात की ना कि देयर आर सो मेनी सॉल्यूशंस टू वन प्रॉब्लम इन इंजीनियरिंग। तो आप अपने रिसोर्सेज, अपने मटेरियल्स की लिमिटेशन के साथ, आप अपनी टेक्नोलॉजी की लिमिटेशन के साथ, वट एवर बेस्ट यू डू is the best for you. But these should be kept on improving with time by all concerned, by government, by universities, by other organizations. I must tell you my mind very clearly that mathematically, of course, 2 plus 2 will make 4 and nothing else. But in engineering, 2 plus 2 is 3.9. Yeah, it's reasonably good. And 2 plus 2 is equal to 4.1. Yeah, it is also reasonably good. So here I want to undermine the inculcation of the requirement of false accuracy a number of times and wasting time, because in engineering, we are doing the practical things. It's a scientific uh, theory which will say that 4.00001 is not equal to 4. Yes, it is correct that 4.00001 is not equal to 4. That is slightly more than 4. But it has no significance. You see, our theories are already a crude approximation of the nature of the reality. तो इस तरह की जो हमारी फॉल्स एक्यूरेसीज है वो हमारे काम को कॉम्प्लेक्स करती है। हमारा माइंड ज़रा क्लियर होना चाहिए। I don't want to say that we don't need software for more accurate works. I don't want to say that we don't need more new analytical tools for advanced work. वो बिल्कुल चाहिए to understand the behavior in a more appropriate way. But when we arrive at the conclusion, उसमें engineering judgment we can always apply. कोई इससे हमें मना नहीं कर सकता. That is the tool of an engineer. In engineering judgment, we can always mold the things you see in the light of experience, and since we have to do them practically in this way, as I've shown you by a simple example. So sustainable economy जो जब हम कहें एक मुल्क की जिसमें इंजीनियरिंग का बहुत ज़्यादा रोल है, तो ये क्या डिमांड करती है, ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग, जिसमें जैसे आपकी भी ऑन जॉब कुछ ट्रेनिंग हो रही है एक हद तक। सो मेंटरिंग एंड जॉब रोटेशन भी इसमें आ जाती है। बहरहाल इस तरह की चीज़ें भी, एचआर की इश्यूज हैं, इंस्ट्रक्शन training and understudy and apprenticeship and coaching and mentoring. So एक तो ये चीज़ है. So collaboration between educational institution and industry and lifelong learning is the other message. Continued work experience, keeping abreast of developments, and reading the latest literature and working on the new projects and on projects with the advanced methods with new techniques. पुरानी टेक्निक की बजाय जो नए नए मेथड है, क्योंकि दुनिया में इंटरफेस होता है फिर आपका इंजीनियर्स का डिफरेंट इदारों के साथ, तो नई नई चीज़ें होनी चाहिए. और कॉन्फ्रेंसेस और सेमिनार्स का भी मकसद यही होता है कि टू शेयर द एक्सपीरियंसेस, उनमें पार्टिसिपेट करना भी बड़ा ज़रूरी है. इनोवेशन, to think of something which can solve the problem in a novel way, that is the innovation. Which can solve the problem in an out of routine manner. एक रूटीन के तरीके हैं, ठीक है ना जी. Quite often they give you the dividends, they save money sometimes, and sometimes they perform better. This innovation जो ideas आते हैं, they fit within the available resources, and they could be indigenous. Engineers का ये काम है कि वो innovativeness का जरूर सोचे. तो यहाँ देखें, मिशियो काकू का कहना है कि what we usually considered as impossible are simply engineering problems. So there is no law of physics preventing them. ठीक है, तो उसने कह दिया कि इम्पॉसिबल कुछ नहीं होता, engineering methods are there जिनको आप इस्तेमाल करके you can make a thing, you can implement a project, you can make such a construction, you can make such a design. Of course, which is using the scientific principle which are discovered at the back by the scientists. The engineers ने उसको practical shape देनी है ना. उसमें thinking here there is nothing impossible. Future engineer के पास क्या क्या हो? Conversion with the latest technologies. मेहनत. This means a lot of hard work all the time. And software भी इसमें आ जाती है. He should be a creative team worker. The engineer in future is not going to work in isolation. ये बड़ा अहम है और इस चीज़ को लोग इग्नोर करते हैं. If you have poor teamwork habit, you are not going to be a good engineer. आपको दूसरे का एहतराम करना, उसके आइडिया को सुनना, उसके साथ बात करना, उसके साथ ना लड़ना झगड़ना कि काम रुक जाए. And the work should keep flowing efficiently. So a good team, creative team worker, effective communicator, innovative and courageous. Diligent means very hardworking and determined, with passion, and possesses personal integrity. Design is not how it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. ठीक है, ये एक असूल है इंजीनियरिंग में. आपने करके देखना है कि कैसा रहेगा, कैसे काम करेगा. ये स्टीव जॉब्स ने कहा था. वेरी गुड. न्यू ट्रेंड्स एंड टीचिंग methodologies improving state of engineering education. प्रोवाइड नेसेसरी फैसिलिटीज जो डिजिटल मीडिया वगैरह, और एजुकेटर्स को भी एजुकेट करना है, और एडवांस टूल्स और मेथड्स टीचिंग के इस्तेमाल करने हैं. Pedagogical methods have to be used, and scholarship of training and learning means that knowledge of teaching and learning, your attainment of knowledge of teaching and learning, that is a scholarship of teaching and learning, SOTL, for improvement. आपको पता चले कि टीचिंग के क्या फ़वाद हासिल हुए हैं, लर्निंग के क्या क्या फ़वाद, जिससे उनका नॉलेज जो है, दैट इज़ मॉनिटरिंग ऑफ SOTL. The requirement of active learning in the classroom as well as in the laboratory, ये बड़ा ज़रूरी है. Interactive teaching, सवाल जवाब करें, उनको पार्टिसिपेट कीजिए, give them practical examples. Student engagement in presenting their work based on the study of books and papers. So ये यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया एट बर्कले में कुछ काम हुआ है recently, and they have outlined the requirements of future engineers as under. They say that according to their research, इंडस्ट्री की ये डिमांड है कि ये होना चाहिए. possess strong analytical skill. जब यंग इंजीनियर यूनिवर्सिटी से आए तो good analytical ability का मालिक हो, with practical ingenuity and creativity, good communication, good business and management skill. ये देखें business and management ये दोनों चीज़ें आ गई, इसकी ट्रेनिंग लेके आना चाहिए. Have leadership abilities, possess high ethical standards. This is also a part of the research. High ethics and morality is a part of engineering. Possess strong sense of professionalism. And a young engineer should be dynamic, agile, not afraid of anything, resilient, flexible. सारी अच्छी खूबियाँ ट्रेनिंग में आए. Must be a lifelong learner, ability to frame problems in socio-technical context. ये टेक्निकल चीज़ें तो उसको आती हैं, तो बाकी सोसाइटी के ट्रेंड्स और हालात देखे तो उसके मुताबिक. So having said that, just a few way forward recommendations or what is in the mind that this is a requirement of course certainly in the present engineering education system in Pakistan, and to enhance the relationship between industry and academia, uh, there is a requirement of formulation of an independent system for establishing industry academia linkages such as like corporate advisory council, science and technology parks, think tanks, center for innovation and entrepreneurship, industrial liaison officers. ये यूनिवर्सिटी में इस तरह की चीज़ें होनी चाहिए कुछ, इस पे सोचो विचारो. And crafting and implementing the framework for improvement in engineering institutions in collaboration with industry. उसके बगैर ना करें under the of course purview of PEC and HC. This is all in recognition of the fact that engineering is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. हम इसको जितना इस्तेमाल अच्छा करेंगे उतना पावरफुल लगेगा. Queen Elizabeth II had said that at its heart, engineering is about using science to find creative practical solutions. It is a noble profession, ये उन्होंने कह दिया. And with these words, I've taken a lot of time. I would like to thank you, but I would also say that I'm not happy. Nobody has put any questions. I had given free hand to all of you to raise any question, to stop me, or to comment on anything. अब आखिर में आप में से कुछ comments मुझे कुछ तीन चार लोग को बात तो करें यार, ये कैसी ट्रेनिंग है? People are not participating. It is not interactive. Hmm? Hello, can you listen to me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी. तो मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि लोग ये कुछ बात करें. पीपल आर नोट कुछ क्वेश्चंस ही आए किसी किस्म के.
सर पीपल आर आस्किंग, लेकिन कोई सर खास कोई आया नहीं क्वेश्चन. मैं देख रहा हूँ अभी कोई खास
कोई
आया नहीं
क्वेश्चन
है सर.
कोई क्वेश्चन लिख के नहीं आया कोई. अच्छा.
एक सर एक आया था, एक सजेशन आई थी. उसमें
हम्म.
ये खालिद साहब पूछ रहे थे, एक्सपीरियंस फील्ड इंजीनियर शुड बी अटैच विद आवर इंस्टीट्यूशन टू डिलीवर प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज एंड स्किल्स टू फ्रेश इंजीनियर ड्यूरिंग देयर स्टडीज एज ग्रेजुएट और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट लेवल. इट विल बी हेल्प्स अ लॉट टू ऑल द इंजीनियर्स कम्युनिटी. ये एक सजेशन दी है उन्होंने.
हाँ. या दिस इज अ सजेशन बेसिकली. ये देखे ना, इस तरह की सजेशन जो है वो ही काम है इंडस्ट्रियल एडवाइजरी बोर्ड जो ये शुरू हुए हैं. एंड आई थिंक कि सब यूनिवर्सिटी में ये कंटिन्यू करने चाहिए, और उसकी बेसिस पे इस तरह की सजेशन जो है उनको अमली रूप देना चाहिए. उनको अमली रूप देने की ज़रूरत है जिसमें एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन का ही काम होगा. इंडस्ट्री वाले तो चले जाएंगे लेकिन वो कागज़ पे मीटिंग भी हो गई, बट इफ़ द recommendations are not implemented in letter and spirit, तो उसका फिर फायदा कोई नहीं.
जी सर.
जी नेक्स्ट. कोई और.
तो ऐसा और कोई आया नहीं क्वेश्चन, लेकिन
हम्म. Anybody amongst the participants you have some query or some discussion or some comment?
anybody can ask a question. Is direct to you, so please don't hesitate to ask any question.
Hmm.
Sir, Abdul Hadi Atif is asking what's your opinion on 3D printing in construction industry?
Well, 3D printing is in very infancy stage right now, and is a tool which has come up from the advanced countries. It will take some time. देखिए चीज़ें ऑटोमेटिकली जब सस्ती होंगी तो ज़्यादा आराम से तब वो मिलना शुरू होंगी. It has a scope and it has a potential. Let us see that which direction it goes to. It has a role in the construction industry. Let us see ये किस तरह cost को और time को और quality को कैसे ये manage करता है for big works. It is being tried and experimented, but it has a potential. तो ठीक हो गया फिर, Mr. Tahir and all
Yes,
the
sir. There is no
participants.
any question.
Okay,
So thank you,
okay,
sir. Thank you
okay,
so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with us. And inshallah, in future, we will invite you again on another topic for your wonderful knowledge and expertise, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
okay. Thanks a lot to all of you and Allah Hafiz.